Dan Perez has lost his child. His daughter Hallie died just before she was born.
It's a very, very difficult thing to cope with. And I didn't know that. I didn't know what feelings I was having. It just happened. And it was the worst thing I've ever felt.
Dan is finding solace in the Sands United football team. All of the players playing alongside him in Kent in southern England have lost a baby. For everyone here, football is a lifeline. Becoming a father was a dream come true for Dan Perez. He had a good job as a customer service manager with a phone company and a happy relationship. Everything was going to plan for him and his partner Lottie. But just before Lottie was supposed to give birth, the baby stopped moving.
She was quite an active girl, yeah, bit like her dad. And there was lack of movement. She went in one day to have some tests, just to hook her up to a machine to find out whether the heart's still beating, and she was fine. 2 days later, we went in because we felt no movement, and her heart had stopped beating.
The doctor came in and confirmed on ultrasound that there was no heartbeat. Dan just fell to the floor and couldn't believe it, and he swore a lot. And that will stay with me forever. And I think as well, like, you just kind of think in a minute, like in an instant, that all of a sudden everything changes.
It's got daddy's feet.
In order to overcome their shock, Dan and his partner were advised to spend time with the dead baby, to hold her in their arms. Today, Hallie is part of their everyday lives. There is no grave for her. The parents keep her ashes at home, so she's always with them. In the beginning, it was very hard for Dan to talk about his feelings.
That's my favourite photo.
Like most men, I'm not saying all, but most, he had to be the man and look after the woman, and I was a mess. I was awful.
Even though I was hurting, I was struggling, I was doing everything I could in my head and my mind to look after my partner. It was about 6 months later that Lottie started getting better. Not so much, I wouldn't say better, she started to cope with it. And then in my head, it just was as if my walls just suddenly broke down. And I just couldn't, I just couldn't take it.
Dan felt helpless. He didn't have the strength to go to work.
I couldn't explain why it was happening, because I thought I've grieved with my partner, but then apparently I hadn't, and that took quite a lot to come back from.
Dan struggled with panic attacks and depression. Now he's feeling better, thanks also to the support of his football team, Sands United. They now have teams in the whole of the UK. Dan plays in defence. He never misses the weekly training session.
I know that everybody here feels the same as me, and if I need to talk, I can. But other than that, it's just a let go. I just release my energy out on the pitch, know that I'm around a bunch of lads that will look after me through thick and thin, and it's a family. It's not a football team, it's a family.
Many other players at Sands United have also experienced miscarriages. Some of them are now fathers, but others have no idea whether they will ever hold their child in their arms. They are playing football for Hallie, for York, for Macie and for Freddie. Playing football for their dead babies.
I've learned it's good to cry. I've learned that it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel down. It doesn't make you less of a man. It doesn't make you less of a person.
Nothing but love for them. So we're a second family. We're all brothers here. Everyone's gone through the same heartache, and we're as close as family could be without being blood related.
We were very upset and surprised that some people don't even recognise the fact that we've had a loss at all. I think that because they couldn't see it, it didn't exist to them. And I suppose with this group, I think that we each recognise that you become a parent as soon as you find out that you're having a baby, or even maybe before that.
Sometimes the men talk about their loss, even while they're in the middle of training. Other times, they just come for the support.
I've always been a very outgoing person. I've never been afraid to be around people, to do anything, to share my feelings or say things like that. But when this happened, I couldn't be around people. I felt very on edge on the slightest person that I didn't know. Even being sometimes around my big group of friends, I found it hard.
Dan has been a musician for years. He sings in a cover band, and they perform at weddings and birthday parties. Louis, the guitarist, is one of Dan's oldest friends. But talking to his friend about the loss of his baby was not easy for Louis.
It ain't me, I ain't no fortunate one.
It was hard to get, really hard to begin with. Personally, I'm quite a silent person, so I think the best way I dealt with it with Dan was to kind of acknowledge it, ask him if he needs anything, and really leave it there until he says something to me, because the last thing you want to be doing is trying to constantly not nag but bring it up. So
Playing football, Dan can choose to open up or just enjoy the game. For the last few months, the team has been playing in the second division. There's a game every Sunday. Dan is always there. Before every game, there is a minute of silence in commemoration of their lost babies.
Seriously, this is ours today. This is for her.
So far, the Sands United dads have never won a game, but today they're feeling hopeful.
This is our first ever season. Some of our players haven't played football either ever or for numerous years, so we're still finding our feet. But our first win's coming in the league, I think. It's getting there.
It just means everything to us, 100%. This is what we've been working to. I mean, you see all these teams, they've all been together for a long time. And yeah, we're here for a different reason, but we love football, so we do want to win the game as well.
The whole team usually comes when there's a game to support the players. Some bring their families along.
Men don't talk about it, I don't think. I think they kind of close up, they're quite quiet about these sorts of things, whereas the women do tend to have a lot more support because they're the ones that have physically gone through it.
We don't mind going and putting ourselves out there in a room sometimes, so guys don't want to do that, so it's different support, I think.
And have you seen a change in your partner since you joined the team?
Oh, massively. Yeah, massively. He's much happier.
For Dan, the games are also an opportunity to be around children.
Concentration, don't let it slip.
At the start, you do just feel, when you see babies and children there, I just thought, I should have this. I should have my child in my arms. And it was just a lot to take. You just feel it all building up inside you. But as I said, over time, it's not so much that you're happy and comfortable with it, but you just learn to deal. You learn to get your own coping mechanisms. I've got a bracelet on there with her name on it, and it says, that's her date of birth, it says Daddy and Hallie. And I don't even know sometimes, but somebody's picked up on it, that occasionally I will kiss my wrist. But then it doesn't even clock to my brain that sometimes I've even done it.
To see that several other players were able to have children even after several miscarriages gives Dan hope that one day he too will have his own family. Today everything is going well. For the first time since joining the second division, Sands United are winning 4-2. It's uplifting for the players.
I would probably just be sat at home a wreck without these guys. I feel closer to this team than a lot of people that I know, just because I know that we're all taking the same journey together. We're all going through the same emotional roller coaster. If someone's having a bad day, we all are there, whether it's vocal or whether it's just sitting in the background, but everybody knows that we're there for each other.
And that's the most important thing for Sands United. Much more important than winning a football game.